thanks for coming in today for the webinar, Trading Exceptional Market Conditions. This is part of a must-know E-mini S&P Methods and Systems series. And Steve's going to be showing you today some methods using order flow. We have an indicator called the Trap Trader Oscillator, and the order flow, it shows you the order flow in a very simple graphical format that makes it possible for you to see patterns on the screen. And one of the things that's cool about order flow is it often leads the market. Yeah. And so Steve's going to show you some really cool patterns with this that work super well in the yeah, sorry about the echo, Jimmy. I'll just introduce Steve and I'll pass it over to him. We have somebody running a loud machine outside. So, but Steve's going to show you this. Let me tell you a little bit about Steve before we get started. Steve has been a teacher for decades, and he has a magical way of presenting things in the most simple and straightforward format, and I think you'll appreciate that. In addition to that, Steve is a great researcher and teacher, and so he has learned and identified patterns that has been a huge contribution to our work together that we've continued to improve over the years that we've been doing this stuff together. So without any further delay, here's Steve. Steve, take it away. Thanks everybody for coming in, and thanks Steve for doing this awesome presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Excuse me. Somebody give me a thumbs up on the sound. Jim, we good? Okie dokie. Hey, Steve. It's good to see you, sir. I would be amiss if I were not to give Rob some accolades. Just a few. Most of you know his background's a Robin's World Cup trading champion, brilliant coder, understands the markets, understands people, and is a wonderful, wonderful mentor. I say this with all sincerity. I tell people the first time I looked at one of Rob's charts, my life shifted. And when I met him, my life changed. And Rob, I'm grateful for all that you've done and all that you do for all the people that you get to touch. You're a very special person. We're going to get to business. What we're going to do today, I'm going to sit down and tell you very briefly about me. And then I will see if we can. Hang on a second. I'm having an issue getting the slide to go forward. I'll have to do it that way. That's not a problem. Here we go. Read that. If you've not read this, you probably should. Spend a second and read through that. And I'm going to leave it up while I start. I'm a golf professional for 40 plus years. Teacher, I played a little bit professionally, but it didn't take me long to know that, you know, Johnny Miller and Tom Watson and those guys were a lot better than I was ever going to be. So I started teaching, and I met some good teachers, and through a lifetime of passion of studying and learning how to teach and learning how to share, came across some ideas. And then I'm not going to go through all the boring details about how I ended up in this chair talking about trading, but it's been a magnificent journey, and I'm very, very grateful. So, excuse me, I'm in East Tennessee, and we deal with all of the pollens and allergens this time of year, and I apologize for the coughs. So here I am at, this is St. Thomas, and I show this so everybody will realize that Rob and I discuss which one of us is better looking, and we'll let you be the guide. But there I am. And so here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to read about 3 or 4 minutes to you. And then I'm going to show you a couple of charts. We're going to go over a couple of things briefly. It's real basic, real simple, straightforward stuff. And we'll look at a couple of charts, and then we'll be through. That's it. I'm going to respect your time. But to show everybody that I can read, we want to trade optimum market conditions. And what is that? We'll talk about that. One of the keys to the kingdom when it comes to successful trading would be the ability for a trader to only trade during market conditions that are likely to be active and have the market moving freely, hopefully within large market structure. Open zones or single print areas or low volume structure or whatever you want to call it. It's just an area in the market that the market moves through rather quickly and without a lot of opposition. It is the easiest and safest place to trade. When it comes to risk reward, it is the sweet spot to be involved. Now, most of us can find these areas after it's happened. After it's already done, we can look back and go, whoa, look at that. And it moves swiftly and without any or much interruption. And almost always without us, right? Well, that's going to change today. We're going to change that for you today. Every day, the market's in a constant state of battle. Both sides, buyers and sellers, trying to gain control of future market action. When a battle is the most active and fierce, volume and orders are extremely high. This is a congested area. This push me, pull you action will persist until one side dominates and overwhelms the other, and the market will start to accelerate in a given direction. Now, this is where we want to be involved. When the market's getting ready to break out. Now, finding a pocket where there's little to no resistance to the market to be able to move will provide the most beneficial area to trade from throughout the trading day. One of the powerful tools we use in the stock index trading room each day to find an advantage is called Smart Super Trend, SST. Now, this tool is going to identify hidden pockets of support and resistance, and more important than that for our purposes, areas that lack immediate resistance. Now, as you can probably guess, these pockets are where there is little or no resistance to the market moving, and they offer us exceptional opportunities for the market to move freely, and they give us a massive advantage in our trading. Now, we identify with a high degree of probability in the room, both the immediate area and the direction that the market's getting ready to run through each day that we trade. Now, how does that work? What does that look like, Steve? Okay, Smart Super Trend, SST. There are 3 basic methods that we use, SST, each day. The first one I'm going to spend probably 7 or 8 minutes going over, called Room to Grow. The second I'll spend about 2 minutes on is called an E2 engulfing 2. We have named that the game changer. And then we're going to show you what a Smart Super Trend SST print on a continuation bar looks like and what it might be worth. Okay. So I'm going to bring this chart over, put it up. Now, this was yesterday's market action. I didn't have time to label today's. We'll look at today's in a minute, but this is yesterday's market action. And, you know, we wobble through some stuff, and I start our teaching over here for effect. We've got a lot of things we do and use, and we'll cover that as we go. But here we're going to look at this situation, this scenario right here. And we have two entry methods for this signal. The first is no previous Smart Super Trend SST print within 4 ticks of a reversal bar. And the more space, the better. And then any reversal bar that breaks a previous SST print. I'll show you what both of these look like. We'll take a look at a few of these, and I've marked a few for teaching purposes. So the first situation we have here is simply we have a red reversal bar. These are our Smart Renko bars. They are proprietary bars that Rob spent years working on and refining. And on this chart, each reversal bar is 8 ticks, and each continuation bar is 4 ticks. 1 full point right there, 1 point right there. Okay, so here we have a reversal bar, and you can see as the market congests, it's in congestion area, you can see, yeah, this red one's in the way and blue one's in the way and red one's in the way and blue one's in the way, and it breaks out, red's in the way, breaks out, and it's just horrible. Just not very smooth at all. You can see we get back over here in a lot of clutter and a lot of chop. So what we're looking for is this. This is a pocket of what? See, there are no support prints on any of these bars. Well, guess what? Boom. We're just going to drop right through there. Boom. No problem. 3 points. It's just like that. So we have 8 ticks of space between this bar and our SST print here. And you can see, what did it do? It got enough momentum where it could break out of the chop fest and start to move. Okay, so we look for 5 or more tick space between our reversal bar and here. That's it. I'm not going to teach you how to trade this. This one's 10. That's pretty good. Boom. Okay. I said number 1 on all of these. That's the first rule. No previous SST print. The second entry is a reversal bar that breaks an SST print. So let's look at this. We've got 7. See, no red lines here. What does that mean? We're headed up. Okay. Big space here. What does that mean? We're headed down. And this was yesterday. These were in these areas I mark in the room each day. We pop those on as they come. All right, now here's the second entry that we have. I want you to get used to this look. And what we have here is a reversal bar that breaks, in this case, resistance. It closes above resistance. Well, guess where that's going? And we can look over here. It's even better because we have no prints over here. It's like, holy smoke. Boom. Very good. All right, that was the first hour and a half of trading or so. Oh, and then we go on and we have this red break here, and that didn't turn out very good. Couple of points. There's not a lot there. Here we have some space. It looks like 5 or 6 ticks between this one, and it goes down. Here we have 6 or 8 ticks, and you can see that turned into a pretty nice trade. Here we have a red bar breaking this cyan SST. Which way is that going, team? Which way is that going? Yeah, sure it is. Look at all this space here. Look at this big space here. There's just nothing to keep it from just getting some acceleration and going boom. And these typically happen pretty fast. They're fun to trade. Okay, and now we're getting into the slow part of the day. Here's some space. We go down 3 or 4 and up a little, and some space here, and we go down throughout the rest of the day. So that was yesterday. Now, as it is my custom to do, I take the prior day's chart and show you, and if it's not very good, we'll say, hey, it's not very good. And if there's not a lot on it, we'll say, hey, some days we don't get a lot. That's just the nature of trading, but I'm not going to go back 3.5 weeks to find it each. This was yesterday's chart. This is what we did in the room yesterday. And, you know, that didn't do much. There's some there, and there's some there, and there's some there. 3 for 3 with a break even. 4, 5 for 5, 6 for 6. That's a break even at best. 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, I didn't even count to 11. So 11 winning signals for us yesterday with this signal. Okay, I'm going to go right quick through today. Here's today. See this red line? I mean, red bar breaking right here. No prints over here. Guess where that's going, team? Boom, there we go. Here we've got this huge space and up we go. Not enough space. It's not, look at this. Okay, fun to trade. Just, I mean, it just falls just straight down through that for 4 points. Okay, and then we have another space in here. It sort of gets chopped up. Big space here, and away we go. Sometimes, what? We get signals that we don't want, right? Can't help that. So here's some space. Okay, here's obviously a trap. Market comes down, goes sideways, and can't hold that. Up, up, up. It's a nice little move there. Okay, early signal. Yeah, can't help that. Went down a bar. This is like 90. This signal is like 92 or 3% to get a bar, and like 80% or so to get 2 bars. Now, we're not suggesting anyone would trade it that way. I'm going to tell you in a minute the 2 ways we use these entries. And then here, you can see this big space right here. No prints over here. Guess what? We're headed straight up through there. Oh, and in here, we've got this red bar through this blue line, and that turned out okay. And another red bar through the blue line, and that one turned out for 8 points or so. And then a red bar through the blue line, and whatever you could manage to get out of that. Here we have a reversal bar with some space, and it actually turned into a trap. You sort of have to figure some of those are coming. But look at all this space, and look how the market reacted to that. And then we're going to get into the afternoon chop and things like that. Let's see, yeah, and then we had this. This is the quality of members we have in the room. We had a member say, hey, team, don't forget, we've got one of our favorite targets is a virgin pivot. See, markets don't top this way. We teach this in the room. That's going to go back and get tested, and it went back to the tick. And that's not important. What's important, we have this, and I don't even know yet. Fell apart pretty good. Oh, here's one. We have this green one, and it went up. So that's it. That's room to grow with either a break of an SST support or resistance on the reversal bar, or a substantial space between a reversal bar and the last print, which the market goes up easily. You can see here, there's just nothing under this to catch it. Open zone on the way. Open zone on the way. So we get to get in front of them, and there we go. So that's it. Just let's look back and review we're almost through here. No previous SST within 4 ticks, 8 ticks, boom. 10 ticks, boom. 7 ticks, boom. 8 ticks, boom. On and on and on and on. Or we break an SST print with our reversal bar. Simple, easy to find. Easy to find. Okay, we've got 2 other, and I didn't want to mark this chart up, so I went back a day. E2, game changer. Excuse me, engulfing 2. And what an engulfing 2 is simply this. It's just a bar. It's a reversal bar that is, the high is higher and the low is lower than the continuation bar that it's engulfing. Okay, we're almost 90% to start in our direction. A little or a lot. We don't know about follow through. But what we get a chance is to have an entry that gives us a winning entry that we can manage a winning trade. And so I took the liberty of marking all of the E2s here. Here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one. That was no fun. Here's one. Most of us stayed in this in the room. Here's one, comes down. See, this one is not one because the wick is higher than the top. Here's one, boom, here's one, boom, boom, boom. So if you wanted, to scalp a few points, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 times a day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, got more. Oh, we had a loser. Oh, that's in, 13, 14, 15, whatever at the end of the day. The third thing we're going to show, that's just an A2. The third thing I'm going to show is this. We have an above 80, almost 85% likelihood when we get any continuation bar, and that's one of these small 4-tick bars that has a new SST print, we're about mid-80s to get a continuation after that. Mid-80s, 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 mid-80s. Oh, running out of steam? Yeah, you would think, nope, mid-80s, mid-80s, mid-80s. Here we come down, counter trend. This is a trap, okay? Here is a reversal bar with a print, mid-80s, okay? Print mid-80s, that one didn't work. Here's a print mid-80s. Here's a print mid-80s. 85% to chop a bar, boom, boom, boom. You can do that just as many times as you want throughout the day. You can look at this and go, really, that's amazing. Okay, so that's a continuation bar trade that you could use it to trail. You could use it to add to winners. You could just use it as a scalping method, however you want to. Talk about 2 other things and then I'm done. I am done. This is the next big thing we're working on. It's not that we've been working on it for a long time. I want you to look and pay attention to this. This is, I'm just going to show you the powerful tools that Rob's given us to work with, okay? These are called lead outs, TTO, lead trap trader oscillator lead outs. This is the very best indication of future order flow that you will ever find. And price will follow this. So what we're looking for is a scenario to where we have a lead out on a reversal bar. We're not real crazy about it when it happens 4 bars into a move. So we're looking for a reversal. Again, I'm not going to teach you how to trade it, but this is coming. Got a lot of members in the room here watching this. Okay, so this says price is going down. Now we've got a weak Batman and some other things here. But we have a TTO lead out with a weak Batman that says price is going down. Yeah, it was pretty good. So here we have a double lead out. Price is going up. Yes, it did. Here we have a room to grow. SST break. You've seen that. You're aware of that. This is a single bar failure trap. So, the odds of this going this way were nothing's guaranteed, nothing's assured. Past performance is, no indication of future. But when you start looking at, okay, that's on that bar right there, that does pretty good. Now, sometimes we get it up in here, okay? And it doesn't do us any good. Sometimes we get it in the middle of the move. We get it here, that was good for 3 points. So, TTO lead out, and then we're going to use smart momentum to gauge the strength of the cycling and the trend. And you can see smart momentum saying we have got a monster uptrend going here. Now, we're not talking about that today, so I'm going to hop back off of that. So 3 ways to use SST, real simple. This is in the room. What we do is we look for these all the time and we mark them and talk about them. Now here's two ways to use this. One is just as a system of winning signals. That wins, that wins, that wins, wins. System of winning signals. You trade the signal, a little or a lot, manage it however you want. The other would be as an entry method to say, you know, I think we're in a downtrend, Steve. Smart Momentum agrees. Trap Trader Oscillator agrees. We're in a good downtrend. We've got an out of bounds trade. We got a nice 12 or 15 point winner right there. Okay, we've got lead out right here. Up we go. It's counter trend, but when you go down 15, you're going to go up 10 or 12. So you can say, hey, I'm at a downtrend. I'm looking for an entry place to get short. Now, you would have gotten in there and it didn't work. It might work a bar, but that didn't work. Okay, 92 or 3% to get one, but that didn't work. Okay, but then it's like, okay, we're still up here. We got a lot of space here. So I'm going to use this method to get entries that work in my favor over 90% of the time. Pretty cool. Or I'm just going to use it, let it go, reverse, and I'm going to get out. I'm going to get in, let it go up, reverse, and get out. And I'm just going to trade the signal as it occurs, and I'm okay with wherever the market wants to end up going. But we have a lot of people that want to try to determine, hey, we're going down, we're going down, we're going up, you know what, and that's awesome. We love that and respect that. So what we then would advise traders to do was, if you have a predetermined disposition, find a entry that's got, in this case, a trap with this. In this case, it's about mid 90% to start down. If there's follow through, it will keep going. So use the entries to support your belief, or just use the entries as a winning system. Just do this. Just sell that one right there. Buy that one right there. Let it go up, reverse, and get out. Let it go down, reverse, and get out. Sell that one right there. Buy this space right here. Let it go up. Today, here's today's chart. Let me mark. Somebody's asking about how would our signals do today. Now, this is probably after market. This is at 4 o'clock, so I don't want to mark it anyway. So let's see. Today we had 1, 2, 3. That was small. 4 winners, 5 winners, 6 winners. That one was no good. So let's say 6 and a loser, 6 and 1, 7 and 1, 8 and 1, 9 and 1, 10 and 1, big space here, 11 and 1, 12, 13. So, here's one. I didn't miss that one. That's, see that space here? Ooh, here's another one. So I didn't have time to mark. 14 or 15 winners today. 14 or 15 winners. Greg, thank you. That's not why we're here. This is what Rob has given us, and we've worked very, very hard. And this is what's happened. I could go back. I'm not going to do that. I could go back 2 weeks or 3 weeks or say, hey, send me a day. Are there days that we'll get 3 or 4 signals, 3 or 4 winners? Yeah. Yeah, there are days that we'll get through 3 or 4 winners. Yeah. Are there days that we get 12 or 15 or so? Yeah. So what do? You trade what the market gives you. Okay. Let me get rid of this. I don't know what causes these lines. We did that. Benefits of the trading room. Yeah, let me do that. Let me tell you how the room works. Okay. Every Monday, the first thing I do as a goal is I find one bar. I find one bar. on our 4-tick chart. Let me show you what that looks like. Let me see if I can get one up. Yeah, here's a trap, here's a sell. That was this morning. That's today. That's our first trade right there. Okay, my first goal each Monday is to get the highest qualified bar within 30 minutes or so, and that's to pay for your room. Okay, that's the first thing I do each Monday is we're going to find one and say, hey, this is 94%. Let's take that and get it out of the way and get the room paid for. We do that every Monday. Okay, and then we're going to let the market settle in, and then we're going to go look at our signals. Every day of every trading day of the week. We started this, I did an open house and just sort of on a whim. Now, we've not had this problem in many weeks, but I said, listen, you come, go to the open house, learn what we're doing, and I'm going to keep the room open for free. We're not going to do this now. I'm going to keep the room open for free until we make enough money on our trades net that you get 3 months worth of room membership for free. And that was pretty cool. And I said, I could do that every day. We could do that every day. So every day, my only goal in a room is to find a 4-point trade. Now here, we sold that, got in early here, got back in on this trap. And then we, whatever you can see, we take all the errors, we take. These are things that we say, hey, these are qualified entries to help you work your account if you're live trading. So every day I'm looking for a trade. I'd like to do it in one. Sometimes we have to do it in two, but my only goal in the room is to get a minimum of 4, not once a month to pay for it, every day. That's what we try to do every day. And, and then that way it's a luxury. It's an investment, not an expense, but it's a luxury. So that's how the room works. We try to get one on Monday to pay for the room. One of these bars a week, 4 in a month pays for the room. So we try to get one every Monday so we can get that out of the way. And then every day I try to find 4. Really high probability of finding 4. And I think the members that are here will say, yeah, we do a pretty good job. We do a pretty good job of that. So I'm done. That's it. I said I'd be through by 5, and I am. If Rob, I don't even know if Rob's still here. He may be. Rob, if you're still here, would love for you to come back and close this out for us.
Oh, hey guys. Yeah, thanks, Steve, for doing this. You want to know what's funny, Steve? If I first made the Smart Super Trend available in 2014, and I posted a video on the Indicator Smart website for the Smart Super Trend. And the funny thing is, and this is an important point, because there's all kinds of companies out there selling all kinds of indicators, and every couple months or whatever, they got some newfangled thing. But we haven't done that. We have the same darn indicators that we've been using since the beginning. Why? There's no new and improved, but there's a difference. There's a difference. What we've learned to do is to use what we have better. Now, if you go look at the SST on Indicator Smart and you watch a video there that I did in 2014, it's like almost 5 years ago, it was close to 5 years ago. The same thing is being discussed in that video about using SST. Sometimes we call it a SST sandwich when you got that stuff on both sides, yeah? And so what is this? It's a breakout system that's happening all over the place, all over the place, SST. Now, what Steve's telling you today is just the tip of an iceberg of what he teaches in the trading room. Because you start taking what he's showing you and combine it with the Trap Trader Oscillator and other resources he's going to show you in there, it's even better. So it's not just, okay, we got this signal or that signal, but there's a depth of learning and a breadth of learning that is just staggeringly good. Now, during the time, Steve and I were going to meet before this webinar, and I knew that the pattern that he was showing you today, and I misspoke earlier, I said TTO, but Trap Trader Oscillator was a smart super trend. But the pattern that he showed you today, I've been done a ton of research on that, but I was going to meet with him before, and we didn't quite have the time to do it. And so just while Steve was running this webinar here, I ran a test on a week of data using trade markers, which is something that we use to test this kind of stuff. And that's available to room members at this time. But I ran it for the last week, and I had a 90% win rate to the first bar, 77 to the second, 73 to the third, and net profit for the week, trading one lot per each leg of that, so 3 lot entry, and then take it off at 4, 8, and 12. So $7,400. Now that might vary when the market clamps down and the volatility gets small, of course. But the principle that we're talking about here, that Steve's sharing with you, that they're using in the stock index trading room, these concepts have been around since the beginning. Steve's just showing you what you can do with this stuff and what they're doing it right now in the room. And so, but once you get a bunch of traders in a trading room like the stock index trading room, take an idea with this, and they come into refinements, and there will be more and more depth of understanding and learning. And this is a very exciting process to be a part of. In my experience, I've been run trading room for 4.5 years now, and it's just staggering. One member comment, and the next thing you know, a whole new vista opens up. Yeah, and so it's just very cool. So, Steve, I'd like to thank you for coming in and doing this today. And for all of you, we hope to see you in the stock index trading room. Yeah. Thanks again, Steve.
Thank you, Rob. Everybody have a great rest of your day. We appreciate you giving us 45 minutes, and we'll see you soon.